Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Book, Bliss, and Chicks. I'm Ashley,
I'm Courtney.
and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, including the novella. This was a really interesting series. I think it was our first thriller mystery that we read together.
It was, I think.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
overall, it was pretty good. I won't lie, it was
Mhm.
pretty good. I was looking forward to a thriller series because most thrillers end in just one book.
Right.
Thoughts and opinions later. But I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I was interested because I had read the synopsis of the first one and then like you said finding out that it was a series. Normally the thriller's ending after one book. It's like it was nice for it to kind of be the same characters but different throughout each
Mhm.
book.
I think what really got me was I have a few of her books too already.
Mhm.
So I was just like, oh, you've been on my TBR. Let's just do it. And then the TikTok thing as well. This is when TikTok was hyping that
Yes.
shit up.
Yes.
So we read this in 2023.
Mhm.
I know it's a little late. Sorry. Today's disclaimer is that we might not be nice. We might be really, sweet. We might be mean. We might be like a little Sour Patch Kid. But these are our very own opinions. And this episode is going to have spoilers for every single book. So if you don't want a spoiler for that book, you can just skip on forward. Or you could just, skip the whole episode because it's going to spoil the whole series.
Mhm.
So that's our disclaimer. The first book we're going to talk about is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It is book one. The genre for the whole series is mystery thriller. The first book has 433 pages, and honestly, it really didn't even feel like that.
It really didn't
It felt so much
actually.
faster. Maybe like
Yeah.
350.
I would say like 350.
The Goodreads rating is 4.3, and the main characters are Pip and Ravi. Pip is the main character,
Yeah.
and Ravi is her later boyfriend. And the important secondary characters are Andy, who is the deceased girl,
Hmm.
Sal, who is Ravi's deceased brother, Becca, who's Andy's sister, Kara, Naomi, and Elliot Ward, who are Pip's best friend's sister, and best friend's dad.
Hmm.
Oof. Okay. That's just the information. So, the synopsis of the story, what is on the back, is that the case is closed. 5 years ago, schoolgirl Andy Bell was murdered by Sal Singe, her boyfriend. The police know he did. Everyone in town knows he did it. But having grown up in the small town that has consumed by the murder, Pippa isn't so sure. When she chooses the case as the topic for her final year project, she starts to uncover secrets that someone in town desperately wants to stay hidden. And if the real killer is still out there, how far will they go to keep Pip from the truth? That alone was just like so intriguing.
Hmm.
You were just like, oh,
Yeah, hooks you right at the beginning.
yeah.
Hmm.
And you're just like 5 years ago, damn, like okay,
Yeah.
everyone it's kind of reminds me sometimes of the Taylor Swift song Nobody No Crime.
Yes.
I
Yes.
really like that song. But that alone I was just like, okay, we got to read it. And
Yeah.
then TikTok was doing his damn TikToky thing.
Hmm.
And this was one of the rare occasions where TikTok got it right. So TikTok
Right.
approved,
Right.
BBAC approved.
Yep.
I'm not going to read this whole plot. It gets a little crazy, very, very fast. Andy, like we said, she is the dead girl, and
Hmm.
Pip chooses this as her milestone project to discover the truth because she knows Sal. Her and Sal were friendly throughout the school years, and she doesn't think that he did it. So she chooses this as her project, and she discovers a lot of secrets, not just the murder of Andy, but a lot of different secrets. And at the end, the biggest secret is revealed, and you're kind of just sitting there like,
Hmm.
that's crazy. But the first secret that she discovers is that there is a kid in Sal and Andy's grade who likes to date, drug them
Yeah.
at parties, and he likes to SA a bunch of girls in these parties. And so, although she doesn't get enough evidence to put that kid in jail, she is on her hit list.
Hmm.
And then the second thing she discovers is that Andy is also dating, not only Sal, but an
Yep.
older man.
Yep.
And the older man happens to be her best friend's dad, Elliot,
Yep.
which is crazy. You're just sitting there like,
Yeah.
I don't know you at all, because she knows that guy her whole life.
Right. Yep.
So it was just like, oh, okay, Andy,
Mhm.
pop off, bitch, okay.
Yeah.
Um, the next thing she discovers is that date rape guy, he has pictures of all of the girls that he's drugged, of them being naked.
Yes.
And so one of the girls that he has, I forgot her name right now. It's not even on here. He he has pictures of her, and she drops out of school between that and Andy bullying
Oh,
her.
Nat
Yeah.
De Silva.
Between that and getting bullied, she drops out of school and she's dating like the town's drug dealer.
Mhm.
There's like so much that happens in this little ass town, and we're kind of just like,
Yeah.
where's all this information coming from? Is it important? Is it not? And some of it ends up being important in the later
In
books,
other books,
and
yep.
some of it just is kind of like, oh, that's cool, but not like it's not really needed.
Mhm.
And then the last thing she discovers is that Andy, the night she went missing, was at Elliot's house, and she hurt herself. She hurt her head, and he kidnaps her.
Mhm.
And when she goes to the house that he's hiding her in, it's not actually Andy Bell. It's
Mhm.
this random ass girl who looks like Andy, that poor girl, that Stockholm
Mhm.
syndrome and all that good shit. And then the real murderer of Andy is
Her sister.
her
Her
sister.
sister.
And she drugs Pip and tries
Yep.
to kill her too.
Yep.
And it was just crazy.
Yep.
The story was so good, and honestly it's my favorite in the whole series.
It's definitely my favorite in the series too.
That being said, what did you rate it?
I gave it a 4.5.
You gave it a 4.5?
Yeah.
I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
This was our first like thriller that we ever read together. It was my first one in a hot minute, so I gave it a 5. It was really, really interesting.
Mhm.
What was your review?
So I really liked it. I mean, I thought that it was like the way that all of the pieces came together, all the different characters, like all of the things were really good.
Yeah.
I do feel like took away a half a point just because, like, kind of like you were saying, it is so much to happen in such a small town that you're just kind of
like everyone's dirty.
yeah,
Everyone's done
like everyone's
something.
doing something and everyone's like a bad guy essentially,
Yeah.
and like
even the news reporter is
yeah,
something.
right.
And I'm just like, oh my god,
Right.
okay.
Like everyone's sketchy, everyone's sus, which I mean, like, I guess is possible, but it was like a lot. I guess also it was kind of so you kept getting different leads of who you thought it was, so like I get why she did some of it, because honestly, like, I didn't really know that it was gonna be the sister.
I thought it was the dad.
I thought it was gonna be the dad, so I did like that aspect where, like, I really did not anticipate who it was gonna be.
It really came out of left field, but in a good way.
Yeah, and it like still made sense, like why it happened and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. And like you said, like, it was 430 pages, and I feel like it didn't even feel anywhere near that.
Nowhere.
Like, the pace of it was really good.
And adding on to that, it really was everybody, teachers, students, friends, dads. The only person, like the only people not affected that weren't like dirty in any sense was her family, and then the poor dog.
The poor dog.
The poor dang dog.
No.
And we'll get into that a little bit later because that's one of my answers.
Same.
So I put, honestly, this book was so dang good. One of the very few books that TikTok has hyped up correctly. I loved it. The twists and turns were brilliant. I loved every crazy aspect. I think the parts where we finally think we believe we figured it out were thrown into another direction, and that part is perfectly done. It's not completely crazy directions either. It's either believable or connects greatly to the other parts of the story. And then I love that the ending had kind of two endings, where Naomi's her best friend's dad was like it, but not really.
Yeah.
But then Becca was it, and then stuff happened with that too.
Yeah.
Whew. It was really good.
I agree with all of that. Yeah.
So we're gonna get into the questions. What was your favorite part of the book?
My favorite part of the book was when she was able to prove that Sal was innocent and like solve the case and all of that. I mean, obviously, like, it was, you kind of knew it was gonna happen, but like it was still my favorite. You know what I mean?
Imagine we go through that whole book and Sal was the murderer all along. Just you're just sitting there like,
Yeah.
well, damn. And I
Yeah.
like, would you think she would stay with Ravi if Sal was the murderer?
I don't know. Probably
I think they
not.
would
Maybe? Like,
because
yeah.
they're two different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you kind of just think, well, if he murdered his girlfriend, is he gonna murder
Right.
me? But maybe like if he was the murderer, maybe he murdered her because she was seeing the older man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was so much that girl was going through in
Yeah.
this damn book. My favorite part was the ending, the dad having the wrong girl, the sister being the murderer. It was all
Yeah.
fucking insane. I
Mhm.
loved it.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite part of the book?
When the dog died.
The dog dying. It was so sad, so
The
traumatic.
dog did not need to be collateral
He did
damage.
not. I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. What other traumatic like shit could you
Right.
possibly add into this book? Who was your favorite character?
Mine was Ravi for
Mine
this
too.
one. Yeah.
I played Robbie. He's such a little sweetie pie.
He is such a little sweetheart. And he just wanted to help so badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite quote?
Mine was, it's not just that he's gone, it's that, well, we're not allowed to grieve for him because of what happened. If I say I miss my brother, it makes me some kind of monster.
That's so cute. Little
Because that's
Robbie.
my little Ravi. He just wants to grieve his brother, and everyone in the town is like shunning them and
Yeah.
telling them that they can't grieve for him because he's the murderer, which he isn't.
Mm.
So
I put women can be just as dangerous as men, and I was just like, clock
period.
that. Period. Because the way this world works is that's exactly what we need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
agree with that.
What did you put down for what scene stuck with you the most?
Mine was when we found out that Mr. Ward was keeping that girl in the attic that was not even Andy. Like, I was just like,
dude, he gaslit himself into believing
like,
this girl was Andy.
Literally gaslit himself.
Like,
because Pip saw her and was just like,
that's not her. Andy.
That's not her.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did he have this whole relationship with Andy and then still think that this other girl was her?
Gaslit.
Like, I was just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then turns out so then also it's like, at the same time, like, sir, you still kidnapped this girl for like five years.
And he still ended up in jail.
Yeah.
For me, I think the scene that stuck with me the most is when Becca is telling Pip, because she's drugged, like, how she killed her sister and where she put her sister's body.
Yeah. That was crazy.
You have no feelings for this girl where you put her body, that poor girl.
And that's your sister.
Couldn't rest in peace.
That's your sister.
The stank. Oh my god.
Did not feel guilty at all.
Mm-mm. Which location in the book would you like to visit the most and why?
So I was telling you about this. I was trying to think about the locations of the book just because we read it so long ago. But I feel like just maybe like the town in general, just like seeing how all of this played out, like seeing the vibes, like I feel like that's, I don't know if I could pick like a specific location.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I would want to go to the forest where she first gets her first letter when they're camping. Because it's like,
yeah.
How did you guys even meet up in this forest anyway? Because first of all, she dips out away from her friends. How did her friends find her in this forest? It's pitch black outside.
Yeah.
And no one, and like, there's a murderer out there.
Yeah, I could not be me.
You could tell Pip is white. I'm so sorry. Could it be me? Yeah, I'm not chasing after no murder. First of all, you left me a death note. I'm not chasing after you in the woods to figure out who you are. And you know what? Case is closed. I'm not figuring it out. Poor Sal. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. Poor Sal. No, I'm too colored to be doing this shit. If you could read the story and another character's point of view, who would you choose and why?
I picked Andy.
Andy?
Yeah.
I think I would read it in Sal's point of view.
That's true too.
Especially the suicide part that isn't actually suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, it's murder.
Yeah.
The dad killed him.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The guy that kidnapped the other girl thinking it was Andy murdered Sal, which
was also crazy.
Or the dad's point of view.
Yeah.
Especially to think how he gaslit himself into thinking that's Andy.
Yeah. That's true.
But poor Andy. I feel like she died so quickly. I think a point of view from all three of them combined. Because Andy has like the point of view from when she's dating Elliot.
Right.
When she's getting blackmailed from Max.
Yeah.
the drug dealing and all that
Like
stuff.
that kind of stuff I would want to see from
Yeah.
her point of view.
But then Ravi has the what's going on with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, my girlfriend is missing. What's going
Right.
on?
Yeah.
Ooh, even maybe a little bit of Becca. Like everyone else, I would like the point
Right.
of view.
Honestly, I would read all of it.
I need to see how Becca descends into being a psychopath.
For real.
It would just be so interesting from a lot of people's point of view.
Yeah.
Do you think the setting in the book is an important factor and why?
I said yes because it's the town where the murder happened. It has all the aspects of it. It has all the people.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
I don't think in a bigger town she would be able to figure it out. Like if this was in New
Right.
York, you wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Right. Exactly.
The small town plays very well. And it's not
Yeah.
like a very small town.
No.
It's like an average
It's
town.
like an average, yeah.
Yeah. Were there any surprises in the story? The fucking ending.
Yeah. Literally
Blew
the
my
whole
mind.
ending. Like, I was just like, did not expect the sister to be the one that killed her.
Yeah.
I
was honestly hoping she was still alive in the attic. When we got to the attic,
I
was
know.
like, at least one of them's alive.
I was hoping.
She could vouch for Sal.
I was hoping. I really was hoping that it was her.
Yeah.
So yeah, that the whole ending was
Yeah.
just shocking.
You didn't get not one of them back.
No,
it was so sad.
So sad.
Let's see. Any surprises? I think the fact that the person that killed the dog, the dad, Elliot, that he actually didn't mean to kill the dog.
Oh, I know.
That he fell into the river and he drowned by himself.
It's like, bro, you already killed like you already thought you killed
you're a murderer.
2 people, and then you also killed this. Like you watched this dog die. Like, what is wrong with you, sir?
Yeah. What surprised you the most about the book?
The same thing that the sister killed Andy.
Yeah, I think it was so surprising that she was a psychopath.
So surprising
because she played it so well. Because she did get interviewed earlier in the book. She played it so well.
Right.
She was just like,
I literally did not clock that at all.
Yeah.
Like I was not expecting it.
And she really thought the only psychopath in that family was the dad.
Yeah. Yep.
No. Did your opinion of the book change as you read it?
Not really. I enjoyed it the whole way through.
Me
like
too.
I feel like it didn't drag out. I thought the pace was good, so
it was like it was
like,
so good.
I thought it was good from start to finish.
Do you have any unanswered questions about the book? If so, what?
Not really.
I think my only question, because not to spoil like too much since we're gonna talk about the rest, is the dad a psychopath?
Okay.
Is he? Because all of the other books focus on other people.
Yeah.
We never get to know what really is going on with that crazy ass man.
True.
Do you have how does the book title work in relation to the book's content?
I think it works really well.
I think maybe that one should have been this one.
Yeah.
For reasons we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
As Good as Dead. I think maybe that one should have been that one.
Yeah.
And that one could have been that one.
Yeah. Like they work, but they could have been given to different books. Yeah.
I definitely do think that one should have been this one.
That makes sense.
Let's see. Does this book remind you of any others?
The only one that I could kind of think of was 13 Reasons Why.
I was just thinking that, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just because, like, the
interviewing process,
yeah,
and stuff like that.
The interviewing, the way that, like, everyone in the town is involved in different ways, and there's all the different pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, very similar.
How did it impact you? Do you think you'll remember it months or years from now? Obviously, like I said, we read this in 2023.
Yeah.
So we still remember it.
Yeah, we still remember. Good. Yeah.
I don't think it impacted me any sort of way besides the dog.
Yeah, agreed.
And then, would you ever reread it? Why or why not? I think yes.
Yeah, I would reread it.
I don't think the whole series though.
No,
just the one.
Yeah,
so far.
I would reread that for sure.
Okay. So the next one is book 2, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and honestly, this one it wasn't as great.
Yeah.
But it was still good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was one of those things where the first one got hyped up, so she kept making more, or maybe she originally planned to make more. But it was still pretty good. So this book has 413 pages, so a little bit smaller than the first one. It has a 4.27 rating. The main characters are the same, Pip and Ravi. And then the new secondary characters are Connor and Jamie Reynolds, which Connor is Pip's friend, and Jamie is Connor's older brother. Stanley, who's the news reporter. Layla, who I don't remember, and no, Layla and Charlie are her neighbors.
Yes.
And Layla and Charlie Green. Those are the
Yes.
secondary characters. So the synopsis of this book is that someone is missing, nobody is talking. But this time Everton is listening because she has this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Pip is not a detective anymore. With the help of Ravi, she releases a true crime podcast about the murder case they solved together last year. The podcast has gone viral, yet Pip insists her investigating days are behind her. But she will have to break that promise when someone she knows goes missing. Jamie Reynolds has disappeared, but the police won't do anything about it. And they said that they wouldn't do anything about it because he's ran away before, that he's an
Mm-hmm.
adult, right?
He's not a minor, yeah.
And they kind of were just like, oh, well, it is what it is. So,
Yeah, like if he doesn't want to be here, then that's on
oh, well.
him. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
What did you rate this book?
I gave this one a 4 out
I
of
did too.
5. Yeah.
It was good, like we were saying, it was good, but the first one was just so.
Yeah, the first one was a lot better for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, not a lot better, but like this one was still good, but I definitely liked the first one better.
Yeah. What was your like review of it?
So for this one, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think that again, like now this is the second book in the small town where stuff is happening and then new things are happening. I do still think there was a lot of good like twists and turns to it, and I feel like she writes those really well. I feel like the pace of the book was good again, and I didn't really feel like 400 pages. But I mean, I liked it. What did you think about it?
I put sorry. I gave it a little bit lower rating because it was kind of confusing and it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
He had that girl that was not really a girl that was blackmailing him.
Yeah, the catfish and stuff,
Yeah, and then
essentially.
the connection to like the newspaper guy, it was just all over the place.
Yeah.
And then the actual murderer being the neighbor, like literally no
Yeah.
one was safe again. And it was
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, okay.
Right.
So along the way, she discovers a bunch of stuff as well. So she discovers that Jamie is actually also Sal and Andy's friend.
Mhm.
He's part of that
Yep.
friend group. That Kara's sister, who's Pip's best friend's sister, was also in that friend group.
Mhm.
It was just like so much.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was like a lot of people, and that's why again, like it's a lot. It was a lot of people, and then everyone had some involvement, and then
Hmm.
everyone had something, and then it was just like a lot.
So on the day that they're like letting Andy and Sal's anniversary, finally Sal's no longer believed to be the murderer. They're
Mhm.
giving them this whole
The
rally, and then
memorial, yeah.
Jamie goes missing that day.
Mhm.
So Connor goes to Pip's house and she's like, hey, he's like, hey, I need your help. And they discover that he's been talking to this girl. Oh, Layla, sorry,
Mhm.
she's not the neighbor. Is an internet catfish who has been preying on young men in the community. They dive deeper into the case and they discover that Layla, I think, is her neighbor.
Yeah, so Charlie and his wife were like playing as being Layla.
Yeah, which
So
is
like,
so crazy how you got your
yeah,
wife to also help you catfish
right.
this poor kid.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that Stanley, the newspaper guy, is the son of a serial killer from 20 years ago
Mhm.
who helped his father lure children to their death. So it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Right.
And then the brother of of the last victim is Charlie.
Mhm.
So that's why he was like parading to be Layla, and it was
Yep.
just like it was so much. And then Charlie kills Stanley and she finds Jamie, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
Jamie, I think, is locked up in a
In a farmhouse or
the
something.
bathroom in the
Yeah.
basement or some bullshit like that.
Mhm.
It was a lot. It was a
Mhm.
lot and it was confusing. That's why I gave it a little bit
Yeah,
lower
a
of a
little bit
rating.
lower. Yeah.
I don't remember this one as much as the first one either.
I agree with that.
Like,
Because I remembered like I remembered Jamie. I remembered Layla. Like I remembered the characters, but a lot of like
The in
in
betweens.
the in betweens of what happened, I don't really remember as
Right.
much.
Like I know that she goes to talk to Nat again in this one, but
Yes.
not about what.
Yeah.
But I think Nat was also part of that friend group originally until she started getting blackmailed by Andy, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like that Stanley was connected to another murder she was looking into originally in that podcast,
Mhm.
but it felt kind of a, a reach.
Right, exactly. That's why
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so Stanley, because Stanley was also kind of involved in the last
Yeah,
one, like, and then now he's involved. His dad was a serial killer. I'm just like, can this, like, what is going on with this
right.
man?
And then the neighbors were so irrelevant in the first book that they became the stars in the second one, and it was just like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah,
It was like reaching a little bit.
yeah. It was a little much, and I feel like that's why, because it being like a small or an average town, like
Yeah,
that's a lot to have just
in this
certain.
one town.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite part of the book?
My favorite part of the book was when we found out that Layla was the neighbor.
Yeah,
Because I was like, oh, I wasn't really expecting that.
yeah.
So at least it was like a little bit of a surprise. What about you?
My favorite part was that Jamie was alive. Thank God. Because, bro, like, imagine all
Yeah.
of Sal and Andy's friends are just going missing, and
Yeah.
then Naomi no longer lives in town because her
Yeah.
dad's in jail, and she has to go live with her aunt or their grandparents.
Hmm.
So it's like, damn, yo, this friend group is not safe, and
Yeah.
Max is an SAer, so it's
Yeah.
kind of just
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
damn, what's going on in this group? What was your least favorite part?
My least favorite was when Layla was trying to get Jamie to kill Stanley.
Yeah, that was
Like,
wild.
you, leave
Jamie's a
this man out of
child.
it.
Yeah,
Leave this
like he's
man
got
out of
nothing to
it.
do with that.
He's just trying to find love, and you're trying to get him to be a hitman.
Yeah,
Like,
wild,
chill.
wild. And like, why would he do
And
that?
for it to be a grown man to be like trying to get Jamie to do that, it's like, sir,
You're
do it your damn
you're
self.
so weird for this.
Like, yeah, what the hell?
My least favorite part was that Stanley died. I didn't want him to die.
Yeah,
I feel like I understand why he was just like, go ahead and kill me, but like, you didn't need to die.
yeah,
It was so sad.
yeah. I feel that.
Who was your favorite character?
I didn't really like have a favorite, so I just put Robbie again.
Yeah, he's a star.
He's just my star.
Do you have a favorite quote?
The one that I put was that this was like the first sentence that opened the prologue. So it was like, you think you know what a killer sounds like, that their lives would have a different texture, some barely perceptible shift, a voice that thickens, grows sharp and uneven as the truth slips beneath the jagged edges.
That's very nice. Very
Yeah,
cute.
I thought it was very like descriptive. It hooks you in right away, starting off the prologue that way. I thought it was good.
I had a few that like I resonated with. The
Mhm.
first one being that, but sometimes my mouth starts saying words without checking with my brain first.
Felt.
Period. And then some people are pretty good at hiding who they really are.
Mhm.
And then, but justice doesn't exist and the truth doesn't matter, not in the real world. And I felt that.
Yeah, all of those are yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What scene stuck with you the most?
Mine was when Stanley died.
Yes, it was so hurtful.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
was like, okay, you wanted to pay for your sins, but it was just like, bro, it's been like 20
yeah.
years.
It's been 20 years.
I
Like,
feel like I've done enough.
yeah,
Leave me alone. How did you
exactly.
find me? My name is different. I erased that part of my
Yeah,
life.
he
How
was
did you
just trying
find
to
me?
fly under the radar, which he wasn't doing a very good job of in the first book.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay. Which location in the book would you like to visit the most?
I put the farmhouse for this one just want to be nosy, just want
Yeah.
to see the just see what's going
The
on.
lay of the land.
Yeah.
The
What
murder
about you?
scene. I put the newspaper
Oh,
place
the
where Stanley
building.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because she also goes in there and she's like trying to find clues and stuff, and I want to see what's going on in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
If you could read the story in another character's point of view, who would you choose and why?
I picked Jamie.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see like what
The whole thing.
yeah, the whole thing.
I put Stanley
That's
from
true.
20
Yeah.
years ago to now. I need all of
Like with a
it.
flashback to the past type
Yeah.
situation.
Or even Charlie, like how it feels
Yeah.
to be going through this murderous rage, to want your sibling.
Yeah.
to know what happened to your sibling, to figure out who Stanley
Yeah.
is. I would like to see that whole thing. Do you think the setting in the book is an important factor, and why?
So I feel like it's important because it's the same characters, but I do feel like it's a little far fetched that all this happens in the same town,
Yeah,
is what I had said.
yeah. I think that this one could have went to the town where they originally were from, Stanley
Yeah.
and Charlie,
Hmm.
just to see like the complete closure of everything.
Right.
But again, like the dad was caught a while ago,
Yeah.
so it was kind of just like a hot mess express.
Right.
Stanley was not committed for this crime.
Right.
But whatever. Were there any surprises in the book?
Um, I put that Charlie was Layla, and then also that Stanley was the child of a serial killer.
Yeah.
Because I did not expect that.
For me, it's the fact that the wife helped out. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not helping you catfish a damn soul. You need to go to therapy and work this
Right.
out with somebody, bro.
Right.
That's not okay. What surprised you the most about this book?
Kind of the same things of that, just like that Stanley being this like child of a serial killer. I just was like, what is going on over
For
here?
me, it's that the neighbors, like, it's always someone that's so close to her. So it was her best
Yeah.
friend's dad, who's kind of like her second dad, and now it's her neighbor, who
Yeah.
she's kind of close with because she used to go to the neighbor's house a lot.
Mhm.
And it was just like, oh damn, like, can you trust anybody? My guy, do you have bad
Right.
judgment? Like,
Yeah.
are you okay? Are you like,
That's very true.
are you bad at talking to people and judging them?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, did your opinion of the book change as you read it?
I liked it, but I feel like kind of what you were saying earlier, where a lot of it fell all over the place. It was. I feel like I kind of was changing as I was reading it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the ending, like even though we were sad about it, like it kind of made sense, but I feel like I just kind of was like,
It was so far
it's
fetched, but then it made
yeah,
sense, but it was far fetched.
right, yeah.
Do you have any unanswered questions about the book?
I don't. Do you?
I think at first, because remember Charlie escapes.
Mm-hmm.
Do they ever find him? I don't remember if they ever found him. I know him and
Mm,
his wife escape though. Like they make it out before the cops come.
I feel like they do in
I
the
feel like they do too,
epilogue.
but I don't remember.
Yeah,
I feel like he sent her a letter at the end.
something. There's definitely contact of some
Right.
way, or they find. Yeah, I don't
I don't
remember.
remember either. Now that's my unanswered question, and I'm gonna have to figure it out after this video. How does the book title work in relation to the book's content? Like I said, I think this one should be that. This
Right.
one, As Good as Dead, because Stanley is as good as dead,
Right. Yeah.
should be this one.
Yep.
And then A Good Girl's Guide to Murder should be this one. And we'll talk about why when we talk about this one. But I think all of the books were mislabeled.
I agree with that.
Good Girl,
Cause I
Bad Blood
yeah
should
yeah
definitely be that one.
yeah yeah. Cause I feel like they all, like I said, they all make sense and they're all like good titles for the series.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like they could go
They're
with
just
different books.
one off.
Yeah. Agree.
And then, did this book remind you of any others? Just the first one.
Yeah, that one. And then for me, it was I read All the Missing Pieces a couple
Mm,
months ago, and it was also about a girl who has a podcast, a murder
yeah.
podcast, and like goes and figures that out and all that type of stuff. So
Okay.
yeah,
Um, how did it impact you? Do you think you'll remember it months or years from now? I don't think it impacted me anyway,
yeah,
and I don't remember it as much as the first one.
yeah. Agreed.
Would you ever reread it? Why or why not?
I I don't know. I feel like I would reread the first one and then based off of that, like maybe read the other. Like I wouldn't reread them all in a row.
Yes, take
Like
time.
I would have to, yeah, I would
Yeah,
space them out and reread them.
I agree. Okay, so that is the second book. The third book is called As Good as Dead. It is 500 pages, and this one you for sure felt those
Yeah,
500
you felt
pages.
those 500 pages.
It has a Goodreads rating of 4.19. The main characters are the same, and then the important second characters are Max Hastings and Jason Bell. There we go.
Yep.
Andy's dad.
Yep.
So maybe we did get that closure. I just don't remember. And I don't remember for obvious reasons because I'm not going to lie, I never finished this book. I Googled what happened.
Did we actually? Wait, did we do that together?
Yeah.
Yes.
We were at work and it was our lunch break, and I was like, Courtney, I'm struggling. And you're like, oh, me too. And I was just like, bet, let's not read it. Let's just Google what happens. And we Googled what happened.
Yes.
Because it was so long and it was so boring. I think we got to about halfway and we were just like, oh my God.
Yes.
It was the worst one by far.
Yes. That makes sense because when I was trying to think back on it, I'm like,
yeah.
Why do I feel like I only know like the main events?
Yes. That's exactly what happened. We read half of it and then we were just like,
as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, we definitely did that.
I'm done. Yeah, we were done. So the synopsis of this book is that Pip is a dead girl walking. Pip is used to online death threats, but there's one that catches her eye. Someone who keeps asking who will look for her when you're the one who disappears. And it's not just online. Pip has a stalker who knows where she lives. The police refuse to act, and then Pip finds connections between her stalker and a local serial killer. The killer has been in prison for 6 years, but Pip suspects that the wrong man is behind bars. And it's just like, bro, all right, enough, man.
Right.
We're just enough.
Yeah.
There's literally no reason for her to have a stalker. Not one.
Right.
Both cases she worked on are closed.
Right. Yep.
Literally, and Elliot Ward, the guy that kidnapped the girl in the first book, he would not death threat her.
No.
There's literally no reason. So unless
he already has enough against him, he's already fucking like,
and he loves her.
Yeah.
It's not like he did this like anything malicious to her on purpose.
Right, exactly.
Like the dog dying was literally an accident.
Right.
So it's just like, bro, who is like it was just enough, okay?
Yeah.
It was enough.
Absolutely.
So the plot, this one really, she just has a stalker and she's like going through the court cases for both cases at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Both cases in book 1 and 2, and she really wants Max Hastings, who's the SAer from the first book, to be like charged, but he's acquitted. He had his own court case. This is the court case she's dealing with.
Yep.
She's acquitted, and then because she's furious about the broken legal system, she puts his like recorded confessions online on her podcast. So I mean, unless he's a like serial stalker or whatever, it made no sense.
Yeah. Like, because I don't even think it ended up being him as your stalker, right? Yeah. So like, it just kind of felt like this is like out of left field, sort of.
Mm-hmm. So then she ends up having like dead pigeons and chalk drawings in her driveway with emails saying who will look for her when she disappears, and she learns that it's the same pattern as a murderer known as the duct tape killer.
Mm-hmm.
And what? Oh, okay, there we go. There's the closure. The duct tape killer is Jason Bell.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that because it wasn't. I was just over it.
Andy's dad is a serial killer.
It was just like, wow. Okay, we're like, okay. It was just so much.
Yeah.
Like there should have been hints to him being the killer or a serial killer at least in the first one.
Right.
There was literally nothing except that she suspected that maybe he did something to his daughter.
Right.
But
which was completely unrelated to him being a serial killer. Mm-hmm. It was like for other reasons.
Yeah. So she gets abducted by Jason and he's going to murder her, but she escapes and then she kills him. She ends up being the murderer. That's why I said A Good Girl's Guide to Murder should be this one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She breaks up with her boyfriend and they clean up the whole scene, her and Ravi, and they frame Max Hastings so that way he finally gets to go to jail for something. And she breaks up with him until she's like in the clear, which is all the way at the end when he's found guilty of being the murderer of Jason Bell.
Yep.
And that's really the whole book.
Yeah.
That's it. I couldn't tell you anything else that happened because, like I said, like we didn't read it.
No.
The novel ends with Max being convicted a year after Jason's death, and she ends up being with Robbie again, and that was like the best part of the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get back together.
Mm-hmm.
What is your rating for this book?
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3. The first half was so bad, and honestly, I think if we would have chugged through the second half would have been much better. We would have enjoyed it, but if the first half of your book is really taking us out and you gave me 500 pages of a book,
Yeah.
I'm not making it to the end.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, especially just the way that the other two, they were written, the pace they were at. It's like this one, you made it bigger and then also just made it so much slower.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could have just gone with the same
Mm-hmm.
400 page, whatever it was. Even, I mean, even 400 pages, we might not have, we still might have been like, Google this shit, but.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the questions. What was your favorite part of the book?
I said when she pins Jason Bell's murder on Max.
I think that's like my second favorite part.
Yeah.
My first favorite part, I think, would be that Robbie's so ride or die that he's like, okay, you murdered this guy? Bet.
I know.
Cool. You need me to go burn this body real quick? I'm gonna go do that. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
And then that he's like, he understands why she breaks up with him, and he's just like, I'll wait for you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll be here, waiting.
Yep.
You're my girlfriend. You're my wife. So it's okay.
I love you.
What was your least favorite part of the book?
My least favorite that I put was when she was getting stalked and the police do nothing about it, because
that's crazy.
that happens now in real life, and it's
scary.
Awful and terrible.
And it's kind of just like they kind of were just like, it's your fault though, so get it together and maybe stop doing the show.
Right.
And it's really because she solved cases for them that they don't like her.
Yeah.
Which is
wild. Crazy.
I think my least favorite part, and the part that really pisses me off the most, is that not one person sees this man leaving drawings or dead pigeons in her driveway.
Right. Especially it being a grown man.
Right.
Like, it's not like it's some teenager who could be like, oh, maybe they're just, having fun. Like, it's a whole grown man.
Yeah, that's so weird. And he has to take the time to draw these chalk drawings, though.
Yeah.
Even if it's in the dead of night, he's done it multiple times. You're telling me it's no one's seen him not one time?
Yeah.
The pigeons are during the day, the drawings are at night. Like, you're telling me not one person?
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. Who is your favorite character?
We're rounding it out with Robbie.
Absolutely.
That ride or die.
He's so cute. What was your favorite quote?
So I put 3 people she'd been with through the fire and back, and she realized then that those same people, the one that would look for you when you disappeared, were the same people you could turn to if you needed to get away with murder.
And that's Robbie.
And that's Robbie.
Let's see. I don't think I have one. Even I'm like looking right now, and I don't think I have one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess real men wear floral when trespassing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really do a lot of work on this book, okay? I'm sorry. Let's see. Nope. What scene stuck with you the most?
Mine was when Pip gets kidnapped by Jason Bell, and then she takes him out.
I mean, I didn't really read anything, so...
Yeah. That's the one I picked based off of what we were, like, when we read the synopsis.
I guess it would have to be when she releases the recording on the podcast. But she don't give a fuck. She's like, okay, bet. Everyone's gonna know he did it anyway.
Right.
So whether you, think he's guilty or not, everyone's gonna know he's guilty, bitch. How about that? Which location in the book would you like to visit the most, and why?
Mine was, like, the crime scene with when she killed him, because, like, how did her and Robbie just be able to pin this murder on someone? Like, it kind of seems like, did
the police,
you know what I mean?
Don't really seem to be doing their
job.
They
don't really care. So
they're just like, oh, the littlest connection. All right, he's guilty.
Yep.
Like Sal.
Yeah,
the littlest connection.
Literally.
If you could read the book in any person's story, point of view, who would you choose?
I put Jason.
I think Jason, especially being like the duct tape killer, I want the beginning of the duct tape
killer. I want
to
know about all of that.
But I also think Robbie. I think this one would be great to have his point of view, especially the last bit where he's helping her get away with murder, and then as he's patiently waiting for his wife to come back to him. I want to know how he feels.
Yeah.
Do you think the setting in the book is important or no?
This one, I feel like, again, it's just like all of this is happening in this one town. Like, you guys had a serial killer, you guys have a son of a serial killer, you guys have like this girl, the dog,
Blackmailing catfish.
like there's just everything's going on. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you?
Um, I think it could be done literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe like originally where the duct tape killer is from. I don't really remember where that is.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Were there any surprises in this story? I think just the fact that she murdered this man,
Yeah, literally.
which is crazy. But I
Hmm.
mean, she kind of, it was like, honestly, it was kind of self defense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she got kidnapped first,
And
so
he was going to kill her.
yeah.
Whatever. What surprised you the most about this book? That she killed
That
that
she
man.
killed it. Yeah, that she killed
And
him.
she got away with it.
Yeah.
Did your opinion of the book change as you read it? If so, why? Yes.
Yes.
It got worse and worse as like it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Do you have any unanswered questions about the book? If so, what?
Not really. What
No,
about
I
you?
think it was done.
Yeah.
It wrapped it up nicely. I wonder if Max is in prison, like,
Like how
oh,
he's
I'm gonna get you, bitch. I'm gonna get out of here on good parole, bitch. I'm gonna get you, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll send someone on you,
I
bitch.
wouldn't
Because
be
he's
surprised.
rich.
Yeah,
His family's
he's
rich.
He's rich.
So I wonder. And that was what? That's the completed friend group. So Sal is dead, Andy's dead, Naomi's gone, Max is in jail,
Yeah.
Jamie has
Jamie has
PTSD.
yeah.
Oh, and he ends up with Naomi, right?
Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
those are the lone two surviving friends.
Yeah.
And then Pip's friend group too, they broke up as well.
Yeah.
Besides Jamie and Clara are her only two friends.
Connor. Yeah, Connor.
Yeah,
And
Connor.
Connor. Yeah, yeah.
No, the two C's.
The two C's.
Did the book remind you of any of the others?
Not really.
Thinking about it now, I think maybe the boyfriend.
Okay, yeah.
The killer comes back and
Yeah.
does a whole kidnaps, drugs, a bunch of. I
That
think
makes
the
sense,
boyfriend
yeah.
maybe the last two,
Yeah.
but not really. But
Yeah.
but sort of. How did it impact you? Do you think you'll remember it months or years from now? I mean, I didn't finish it, so
Yeah, not really, no.
would you ever reread it? I think maybe if we separated it more.
Yeah.
But I think not like on a month to month basis. I think it would have to be months in between
Yeah.
each book.
Agree.
Okay. Last book. Whew. Okay. So the last book is the novella. It's technically supposed to be before A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And pretty much, honestly, the kids play Clue in this game. They dress up as the characters. They play Clue. They try to figure out who murdered Jamie. He's like a character. And it's really like the whole book.
Yeah.
So it's 130 pages. It has a 3.74 good reads rating. And honestly, that's pretty spot on.
I was gonna say that's what I rated it, like a 3.5.
I put a 3.
Yeah.
The main character is Pip. The important secondary characters are all of her friends. So Connor, Jamie, Kara, Anthony, all of these random ass people that no one cares about anymore. Let's see the synopsis. Pip is not looking forward to her friend's 1920s themed murder mystery party, but when the game begins, Pip finds herself drawn into a make-believe world of intrigue, deception, and murder. As Pip plays detective teasing out the identity of the killer, clue by clue, the murder of the fictional Reginald Remy isn't the case on her mind. So pretty much, this is when Pip decides that she's going to take on Andy and Sal's case as her senior milestone project.
Yep.
And honestly, they just play Clue. I think the best part of this book is when she comes up with this elaborate ass who done did it, and the guy's just like, no.
Yep.
Wrong.
Yep.
And it just is like very anti-Pip.
Yep.
I gave it a 3. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It's a novella.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It was short. It was
got
like
to the
one,
point.
yeah, one night, one event. Like it
Yeah.
gave you the reasoning as to why she started this whole senior capstone project.
Yeah, where she ended up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, it was good. It wasn't anything like that needed to be more than the average.
Yeah.
So for the questions, what was your favorite part of the book?
Mine was what you said when she made up this whole like elaborate story and put all these pieces together that this other person was the killer, and then
it was so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he was just like, no, actually,
10
it's
points for
the
effort.
obvious answer.
No. For real, she knew what the
Like,
obvious answer was,
yeah,
and she was just like,
it
that's
was the
too
obvious
obvious.
answer.
What was your least favorite part?
Um, I mean, I didn't really have like a least favorite part. I feel like.
Yeah.
Did you have one?
I think it's when she's the one that goes to the basement to fix the lights, and she's the only one that
That
gets
was,
the clue. And
yeah,
I'm honestly, after knowing everything that happens in this book, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna die. Even though this is a novella, a
right,
prequel novella, I'm
yeah.
just like, she's gonna die.
No, I still was the same way. I'm like, why would you do that?
Why are
Would
you
you go?
going by
Why would
yourself?
you go down there? Get
But
back here.
she's the only one that gets this clue to figure out everything,
Yeah,
and it's just like nobody else gets this clue. That's not fair.
yeah,
What's the whole point of this?
that's true.
Who was your favorite character?
I said Pip for this one.
I think Jamie was my favorite character. He was so funny as Reginald and the
And then
detective.
yeah,
And then, what was your favorite quote? I didn't have one.
yeah.
What scene stuck with you the most?
Mine was when she was like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing for my senior capstone project. Like,
Yeah,
this is like when she kind of like deep dives into it. When she's like, oh, the answer isn't that simple. Okay.
I think for me, the basement part, and then her
Mm-hmm.
being elaborate with her details. But then
Yeah.
when her friend Anthony is kind of being an obnoxious jerk,
Mm-hmm.
that part kind of stuck is like my favorite because this is like when she realizes, okay, maybe he's kind of like an ass and she shouldn't be friends with him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I like that part because then you see it later on in the first and second books when she like starts deading some of her friends because they kind of are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Which location in the book would you like to visit? There's literally only
I was gonna
one
say.
location, so I guess Jamie and Connor's
Yeah, the
house.
house this takes place
I
in.
would just like to sit there and watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to participate in your
No.
clue game. If you could read the story in another character's point of view, who would you choose?
I didn't really feel like there was anyone
Yeah,
other's
it didn't really
point of
need
view.
another
Yeah.
person. Do you think the setting in the book is an important factor and why? I think yes for this one.
Yeah.
Just because it connects so good to the first one.
Yeah. I agree.
Were there any surprises in the story that she got it wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. That's literally it.
Because we read this last, and she
Yeah.
figures out everything so good.
Right. She's like solving serial killer murders,
Right.
and then she's like, I'm wrong on my game of Clue.
Yes. Were there any surprises in the book? I think I just said
Same
that, right?
thing. Yeah.
Did your opinion of the book change as you've read it?
I
Not
mean,
really.
not really. And it was also short, so it's like it kind of just stayed the same.
Yeah. Um, do you have any unanswered questions about the book? If so, what?
No.
No. How does the book title work in relation to the book's content? It doesn't. It's called
Yeah.
Killjoy. It doesn't work at all.
Yeah. I feel like it doesn't even allude to anything close to like what
Yeah.
the book is about.
What would you name it if you could like choose something else?
I don't know. I feel like it would have to I would want it to kind of go better with the theme of the other books.
Yeah.
Like how this one's like Good Girl Bad Blood, As Good as Dead, like something catchier.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And it has to have girl in it.
Yeah.
Good and girl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it definitely I feel like Killjoy,
It doesn't have anything
it doesn't
to do
give
with
it any yeah.
Did this book remind you of any others? Honestly, it just reminded me of the movie Clue, like the really old one.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, I didn't have any books that it really reminded me of.
Did it impact you? Do you think you'll remember it months or years from now? Not really. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a novella.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever reread it again? No, it's not
No.
even really important to the series.
Yeah,
that
it's not important to the series.
Would you reread any other book by this author?
So I don't know really what else she has. I mean, I liked the series as a whole. I feel like I would read another book by her. I know we just took a break because we had read all of these.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we read these all in a row.
I think I have a few because there's only so many, like, thriller authors that are good. I have the reappearance of Rachel Price on my TBR.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both own, I think, Five Survive.
Yes.
But it's not on our TBR this year.
Yes.
It has a 4.08 Goodreads rating, and I don't really believe these people anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Maybe not.
I know. I feel like with Goodread ratings, I have to deduct, like...
I like to read the 1 stars to
Yeah.
be able to believe you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that is the entire episode. This was a Good Girls Guide to Murder episode. This is our series of the month of April.
Mm-hmm.
Right, April, yes. So next episode, we're going to be wrapping up our month of May, talking about all of the books we've read this month.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Ruinous Love trilogy. I have a bunch of books. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'll be topped out at 12 this time. Okay, I didn't go to 14 this time. But I have a bunch of books, including our three Vampire Academy books
Yep.
2 and 3,
Yep.
and then Mercy,
Mercy.
which is the Salacious Players Club.
Yep. I'll have 5. So I have Carnage. I have The Earth and the Flame, which is the second of the duet from the other book that I read in March. I have The Losers Part 2. I have Entwined with You. So a lot of my series are keep going or getting wrapped up. So yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, I pulled up my list. I have the Ruinous Love trilogy, The Fault in Our Stars, Heartless by Elsie Silver, Heartless by Marisha Mayer. I finished the trilogy for Allison and
Okay.
Underland.
Yeah.
Thank God. God of Malice and Leave Me Behind. So that will be my 9 solo books.
Yeah.
Okay, I like even numbers. Okay, so
Yeah, I'll have 5 solos and then 8 in
yeah.
total.
And then the episode after that will be our May author of the month. You won't be able to ask us any questions about it because by the time this episode releases, we'll be already filming that since we'll be doing a double feature next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So my author of the month for May is Bren Weaver.
I forgot who I picked.
You picked Chantel Tessier.
Oh yeah. I was like, I wrote it down.
You did. I like this morning.
My author of the month for May will be Chantel Tessier, who wrote the Lord series.
Are you going to do all of the Lord series?
I think so, yeah.
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 I have the Ruinous Love, and then she has like one other book that isn't on my TBR, so it's going to be on my still to read list.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will be everything we have for our next 2 episodes, and then after that, I don't really know what we got left for you guys. Okay, I'm making the list as I go. But I'm Ashley.
I'm Courtney.
And this is Book Bliss and Chicks. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.